Now, if you watch my videos for a while, you probably noticed I use a lot of graphs, specifically these ones right here. We got the case supply, we got the overall case metrics, how we're looking for so many of these graphs, and these all come from my case farmer right here. But the truth is, there's actually a problem with this, and that's the fact that these haven't been updated since the end of October. The graphs and everything completely broke. We had the data, we just couldn't format it correctly. But today, we are unveiling the version 2 of this. I'm absolutely so pumped to say this. This is absolutely insane. I just got sent this over, and there's so many useful graphs. It looks so much better, and he has done such a great job with all of this data. And you can see specifically, looking at our active duty cases right here, you can see the red line is how many cases are being unboxed, and you can see the blue line are how many are being dropped. There's so much useful information here that we can't find accessible anywhere else, and I'm so excited to bring this back as a resource because you can see in the background, these are very useful graphs that you don't often see pretty much anywhere else in the current market. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, talking about Paris, CSGO stocks is back, so we've got the graphs in the background, but the truth is things have not significantly improved when we're talking about the team logos. However, we do have some pretty interesting data that I want to share with you. Right here, we can see the Paris application numbers in relation to how the other majors are doing, and as you can see, Paris has continued to dominate inside of its specific market share. Obviously, they are not competing with Antwerp and Stockholm on a price level because they're significantly cheaper, and therefore they're getting applied a lot more often. But the truth is, as long as Paris continues to be applied, I am not worried about the future of Paris. It's going to be a long-term investment, and I think everyone that picked some of these up knew it was going to be a long-term investment. Looking at the data right here, as long as Paris continues to have a decent amount of applications happen every single month, I honestly don't think there's going to be any significant problems that happen in this area, and therefore I'm going to be keeping my current position inside of Paris, but I'm not going to be expanding upon that. We talked about it in a previous video, but the truth is a lot of these Paris capsules don't have a floor set right now. They could continue to fall down in price, and therefore it's not going to be the smartest investment. I don't think it's going to happen with Paris, but it's definitely a possibility, and therefore I definitely think you should potentially wait until we see that Copenhagen major, because that's probably going to be the biggest indicator for a lot of these capsules. Now, talking about the case market overall, and specifically rare cases right now, obviously it is not looking good. I mean, we can obviously see every graph we pull up, we're going to be seeing a significant decrease for a significant amount of items inside of this area, but the truth is I want to give some perspective to this. If you want to look at the 1-year graph of the danger zone case and the 1-year graph right here of the unboxing demand for it, we can obviously see they're pretty equally close. Obviously it's not a 1-to-1, but you can see there's a very significant amount of overlap, same with the Prisma 2 and same with pretty much every other case inside of this situation. The truth is these cases right now are extremely desirable because there's going to be demand for them after, and especially once things start to heat up, the price of them starts to go absolutely insane. Why did we see 500% growth on the Prisma 2 case inside of 2023? It's because people don't know how to do this. They go ahead and they just buy a ton of these cases, they unbox them. If you're investing at a low point in the market, you're going to be making a significant amount of profit. In my personal opinion, things are going so right for Counter-Strike. Obviously not in the market right now because we're having a little bit of a struggle, but the truth is there is so much overlap from what I'm seeing right now and what I'm seeing after Broken Fang and every other event that takes the market down. People get pessimistic so quick about this game because it's a video game. Obviously it's a little bit more of a high risk investment. There's so much opportunity inside of this area, and it's so prevalent whenever you look at anything that has a long-term outlook on this. You can see we're trending upwards and we have very big peaks, and right now we're just going through the downturn of one of those peaks, and I'm not personally worried, and I think it would be a big mistake if you're not looking at those rare cases right now. Now, a lot of people are focusing in on the game right now, and specifically the cheating problem, because obviously it is a problem, but the truth is I think Valve is actually playing the long game here. If we want to look at exactly what they did with Dota 2, what happened was they went ahead and they banned a lot of people, but in doing so they opened up an exploit that allowed a lot of people to go ahead and cheat inside of the game. It ruined the game for a very short period of time because obviously you were facing cheaters, but that's exactly what I think they're going to be doing right here. In Dota 2, it actually worked out extremely well for them because they went ahead and banned over 40,000 accounts, and it's very likely, in my personal opinion, that they're going to try and double up here with Counter-Strike. The game is still in early development, people aren't expecting that much from it in the current moment, and they have the opportunity to go ahead and do this on the brand new Source 2 engine where they haven't had it previously. Combine that with the fact that they just went ahead and changed their Hacker 1, which is basically what people can get paid for bug busting on Valve games. They went ahead and changed it so it's now more profitable for people to find critical errors, and I think Valve is trying to hone in on this final stage before the major. Now, we've been talking a lot about the safe investments you can make right now with rare cases or with some of the older capsules, but the one that a lot of people are focusing in on is going to be these active duty cases. Right now, active duty cases are in a very precarious situation. Obviously, we know that they have the potential to get extremely expensive. Think about how just a couple months ago, they were sitting at all over $1. There's a massive market inside of this area, and it's all dependent on the amount of hype that comes into the game, and if you think there's a lot of people coming in for the next CS2 major, it could be a possibility. But I want to focus in specifically on the amount of supply that these cases have, because I don't think a lot of people realize that these cases are more than the clutch case was. There's a lot of supply for these cases, specifically the snakebite, the fracture, and the recoil is starting to get up there. Snakebite, as you can see right here, we're looking at about a 45 million million projected cases. Fracture is nearly identical, coming in at 47 million projected cases out there, and the recoil has just been climbing because obviously it's a lot newer of a case, so it doesn't have a massive supply built up, but a lot of people are not unboxing this. It's a very interesting situation because we can look at the unboxing numbers overall. We can see that the snakebite is significantly lacking. Therefore, that's the reason I have kind of been looking at that one as the next one to be removed. Plus, specifically look at the cases inside the active duty. The Revolution is the newest case, and excluding that, we see the top two cases being the Fracture and the Dreams and Nightmares, both of which have knives. The snakebite and the recoil both have the same gloves inside of them. Therefore, if you go ahead and kick the snakebite out, the recoil probably or theoretically could go ahead and increase in unboxings. And I think Valve is looking at this identically, and they know the next case that they're going to release should have some knives inside of it because people are getting a little bit tired of gloves in the current market. Now, going back to the data we were mentioning earlier, something just happened that has not happened in the past 365 days, excluding this one, and that's going to be the fact that we actually saw more cases drop than actually being unboxed on one singular day just a couple weeks ago. Now, this is absolutely mind-boggling to think about the fact that it overall seems like cases are just getting more and more cheap over the past couple of weeks, but the fact is these cases have been significantly harmed in the fact that there is just none of them coming out specifically for the rare cases and they're being unboxed so strongly. But overall, the active duty cases coming out now are not even coming close to the amount of cases that we would theoretically need to sustain the current levels if we just switched over to those active duty cases. As you can see right here, in October, we saw a massive amount of cases being unboxed and a very small amount of cases actually being dropped, to the fact that we're seeing 2 to 2.5 times more cases being unboxed than actually dropped. The last thing about this data is we can go ahead and see which cases are on a little bit of a hot streak right now, and the answer is actually quite interesting. We can go ahead and look at which cases have lost more than 50% of their estimated supply since the beginning of the 2023 month of March. Now, this is going to be very interesting because we can see the cases that do this are going to be the Prisma 1 and Prisma 2. Probably not too big of a surprise there. These two cases have dominated their respective areas, and no one's shocked by that. It's going to be the Danger Zone following that up with the CS20 case. Another two interesting picks, but not too out of the ordinary, with honestly speaking, these are the cheaper rare cases. The last one, though, is actually the Revolver case. Now, I want to make it very clear, this is an estimate, and obviously it's very hard to estimate the amount of the Revolver cases out there because it spent so much time in the non-prime drop pool, which is almost impossible to go ahead and calculate because we don't know how many people are actually inside of this drop pool. But with that being said, the fact that the Revolver case is keeping up with some of these cheaper rare cases is a really big deal for the Revolver case. It's the only expensive case that was able to lose a significant amount of the potential estimated supply out there. This is very important because this is something we commonly talk about with the Revolver case. How the Revolver case seems to dominate nearly every crash that happens in the market. It's one of the first, if not the first, to go ahead and recover, and the fact that it's supplied is just absolutely dwindling is not too out of the ordinary for me personally. Now, unfortunately, we have some news for a team competing in Copenhagen. That's going to be Nouns. Unfortunately, Cynic, a player on the team, has went ahead and passed away. If you can interpret what's going on from the tweets right here, basically, Semphis is implying that Nouns went ahead and took his own inside of this area, which is very unfortunate, and it's not something we ever want to see. Remember, if you want to talk to me, you can head to my Discord, find anyone to talk to. There's always going to be someone there for you inside of this community, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.